This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started.
Hello and welcome, my friends, to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burger Pits,
Phil, me, and Perich.
Welcome, Philip, once again back to Superconnectivity, the only podcast on the internet that has us both at the same time talking about these things with the title Super. I feel confident in saying that.
Got me there, yeah.
Yes. Someone asked recently on one of the groups we're in, what makes our podcast unique, and I said, I'm on it. And and you think that's kind of a vainglorious thing to say, but the truth is I have a voice, I have a character, I have a person that I put out there. If you like listening to that person, that's a good thing to listen to. Mm-hmm. And, if you're honest with yourself, you're going to put your show out there with your voice. And it doesn't matter what you talk about, so long as you talk about it in your voice. That's the honesty of your voice. And you talk about, there's a billion podcasts out there. There's probably more podcasts about comic books out there than there are comic books made each year.
I saw a funny thing on the internet this weekend. I think it's somebody said, "Oh yeah, new statistic: 50% of Americans listen to podcasts." And then someone commented, "Yeah, because 50% of Americans have a podcast."
Well, exactly. It's just professional courtesy.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna tell you, man. There's all this talk about older, middle-aged men like myself, old guys, becoming disconnected from human beings in context. Podcasts pretty much solve that. I will not die alone because I have Phil Perich.
Oh.
Yeah, him and Maz. I think both of you will outlive me, but you never know.
I hope we're younger than you. I hope we outlive you.
I hope so, man.
I mean, that's not always true, but I would hope just because we're younger.
I'm just saying, people wonder why I don't take care of myself. It's because I don't want to die last. It's like, goodness. Lilith's
going to outlive us all.
Well, of course. She is immortal, so that's...
Embalmed, yeah. That
was the deal. Okay. So let's talk about some fun stuff. One thing, this is actually, I think, the shocking news. All is not well in the Kingdom of the Mouse. They fired the entire writing staff. One of whom was an executive producer.
Ooh.
Of the Dazzler Tigra series. And they were like 9 weeks into their schedule. They were ready to go. And something went horribly, horribly wrong. Because Disney just said, heck with you. And the woman in charge of it said, to heck with you too. Creative differences. And they're parting their ways. And this is weird because this is actually like a linchpin show in their new animated Offenders cinematic universe. It's like if Jon Favreau just said, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going home. Or Disney, if they were stupid, said, you know what, Favreau, we don't need you no more. Everyone needs Favreau.
I saw one theory. That I don't know if the writing staff were doing this or if Disney was just afraid people would take it this way. But do you think they were worried that people were going to take the Dazzler Tigra relationship like the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy relationship?
Well, yes, that was my theory. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, that was you. Okay, I knew somebody smart on the internet.
Yes, the word on the internet was, okay, and there is basis for this idea. Because when they came out with Dazzler and Tigra in a series together, I think like all comic book fans, said, well, that is a very random pairing. These aren't people that, Dazzler was never on the West Coast Avengers. Tigra was never on the X-Men.
No.
They have never had a crossover prior to this. But Dazzler does have a very famous crossover with Hank McCoy, the Beast,
Mm.
another plushy superhero. And that did have a strong romantic content to the story, because it was literally Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually what it was titled, was Beauty and the Beast, because,
Yeah.
they don't like subtlety over at Marvel. At least back in the 80s, anyway.
Do you think they wanted two characters, though, that like they do have connections to these big franchises, X-Men and the Avengers, but if you aren't a comic reader, they aren't household names, so the expectations weren't going to be high with some people?
Yeah. I mean, I get that, and the fact of the matter is my theory is that they really wanted to go very Harley Ivy with it, where they really wanted to make it like, no, these two are a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Again, canonically, not anything that has ever existed for these characters.
Yeah.
Which also I think is kind of a negative concept, because Tigra has never been put in, for a sexy cat lady, she's never actually had a lesbian storyline. And I don't think Dazzler has either. For a Hollywood singer lady, they've both been, strictly heterosexual prior to this. Freaking Dazzler's hanging out with Roman Nekabo. And enjoying every minute of it. It seems, And the reality is that it almost seems like someone because this is a Chelsea Handler production, that someone decided, we're going to have a strong story with two females. They should kiss, which I don't think is necessary. Honestly, I think it would be more shocking if you had a story in this day and age with two strong, independent females and they didn't kiss, because they're like, no, actually, we're just really good friends, because females can actually be friends. It doesn't always have to be trying to lead somewhere. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to.
This isn't Harry Met Sally.
I'm just trying to think of what else they could have written that would have offended them so much that they all got, that they all got canned.
Yeah, exactly. That it was here's the thing. I can get the idea of like sending home a showrunner, sending home a writer,
but everyone.
This was the entire. As far as I know, the only person still working on this show is Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
Which means she must have actually invested money in this project. Well, no, because literally that's why you can't fire someone who actually pays for it.
Wow, yeah.
You can't fire the boss. So I don't know what the creative. I don't see it, but I guess possibly a secondary possibility is that they refuse to make it a Harley Ivy story.
That
they were like, no, we want to make it really. I want a really strong lesbian vibe here, and. Honestly, to be fair, it's not like Disney would be opposed to that, but that doesn't seem like the kind of thing Disney would insist on.
Yeah.
And so, to me, the quality that seems to be most likely is Disney wanted them to keep it a little more
subtle.
Well, a little more PG.
Yeah. But
parental guidance is suggested, but
I was going to say, but isn't it the offenders line? But it's like two, but they're not DC. They don't go the full, F Batman and all that.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is a Hulu series, I believe. It's not a Disney Plus series, so they did have more leeway.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, these are two characters who canonically this has not been their story, and and not for nothing, I don't think it's ever been ambiguous that it was their story.
Mm-mm.
I cannot think of a single instance where Tigra or Dazzler had that, strong female friend that they hung out with all the time.
No, I can't remember if they got married or not, but I know Dazzler was like in a long-term relationship with Longshot for, I don't know if they still are or not.
Well, yeah. And not for nothing, Tigra and Hank Pym.
Oh, yeah.
Were very much a thing.
Oh, yeah. And when she wasn't with Hank Pym, she was like hitting on Moon Knight and stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, she's actually they made the point that, basically her cat pheromones.
Oh, yeah. She's like promiscuous. But yeah, it's always been like she's going after men. Yeah.
Although I always like the fact that when they point out, it's not like I want to walk around in a leather bikini, but I'm covered in fur and I live in LA. You know how hot it is if I had to actually wear a suit on top of this? That's why the cat only wears a hat,
But yeah,
Disney really wants an after credit scene in the Cats movie with Mike Myers.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be really cool too. Am I late for the audition? Make it happen. Who's ever producing that show?
Well, that's like it's all over the internet. Are they going to get Barbara Walters for New Year's Eve? So when the ball drops, she can say, "This is Barbara Walters, and this is 2020."
That's such a
old person joke, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but even I would like.
Hey, all us middle-aged people and the elderly will love it.
That's the thing. It's like
Yeah, but Charlie, who's staying home on New Year's Eve? All the old people.
Well, except they're all asleep too. Trust me, I am. It's like I would literally wake up to hear her say that. So in the sense that the TV is probably on and running.
Oh, okay.
Since I'm probably going to be on NBC with New Year's Rocking Eve. No long with Ryan Seacrest. I think it's Ryan Seacrest now Rocking Eve.
I think so.
Because Dick Clark has passed away, sadly.
Yeah.
But but the Rocking Eve, that's where to be. That's where Jenny McCarthy is, who still carry a torch for. I'm not going to lie. I love that lady. Now it's a lot more platonic than it used to be, but now it's like, man, I just want good things for her.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she's on TV, it's like, man, I hope that goes well for her.
I'm sorry, I diverted you off course.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, you threw it. You threw the pebble in the path, dude. It's going to derail the train.
I know.
That's why you don't put the penny in the railroad tracks. You'll kill millions. You won't actually. The train goes right over it. It just flattens out the penny, and it's very cool.
But hey, I was gonna say, any more on Tigra and Dazzler, because I wanted to talk about the big thing this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, not really a lot to say about it, except for the fact that it does seem that it's weird. But yeah, what's the big thing?
Well, before we drop that, I was gonna say, hey, any of you who were fired off the writing staff of Dazzler and Tigra, if you want to tell your side of the story, contact us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com.
We'd love to know. We'd love to bring it here.
We will talk to you, let you tell your side of the story.
Totally non-judgmental too.
So if anyone finds this podcast or on YouTube, get a hold of us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com.
Please do. Hey, we're going to verify it though. We don't want someone just saying, "Oh yeah, I totally worked on that show."
Trust but verify. Yes.
Yeah, we trust but verify.
All right.
Anyway,
the Black Widow trailer.
Black Widow trailer. Black Widow, of course, is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We all can agree with that. And just to talk about the trailer for a few minutes, I mean, just beautifully shot. I mean, it's your classic. It's your classic Marvel shoot 'em up. It's exactly the kind of film. It is exactly the kind of film that surprises you and intrigues you. And apparently, Black Widow can turn as she falls. Someone made a point that when she's falling, she can turn, but she's not wearing anything that should suggest that her aerodynamics should allow her to turn, but science,
physics,
was a controversy.
There
always is, because someone decided to do the Red Guardian Lebowski style.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny about this is that there's two tracks of the internet outrage. Because there's lots of internet outrage.
Oh, of course.
Plenty to go around. Because at one point, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a fat person, and someone said he was fat. And that's demeaning to fat people. And if you think about it, that's kind of demeaning to fat people. Because literally, all someone says is, you got fat. And maybe they said it snidely, but we don't know. Maybe she says everything snidely.
So what you're saying is an ample American Charlie Esser is don't be offended.
Ample Americans feel about stuff.
Don't be offended for me. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Is what I would say on that, because here's the thing, and here's really my thing. When fat Thor goes and says, "I'm worthy," and let's kick some Thanos butt. Mm-hmm. And they really hone in and are the hero, it makes every snide comment all the more delicious. Because every time you make a snide comment about a fat person, mm-hmm. then they go and show, actually, I'm quite capable. It really makes you the fool for making the snide comment. Additionally, every fat person in the world has heard a snide comment about their weight. It is the reality of being fat. That people are going to judge you and they're going to make snide comments. And to create a situation where like, oh, you can't make a snide comment because that just shows you're demeaning fat people. It's like, no, you're showing the reality of what it means to be a fat person.
And again, too, I can't remember who said that line. Do we know who the character who said that line? Because what if it's a character who's a jerk in the movie?
Well, yeah, the character who says the line is actually the older Black Widow character.
Okay, yeah.
It's the brunette who I think is supposed to be like his former girlfriend.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of stories there, because those Russians, they do love their breeding programs. So you got your super soldier, you got your early Black Widow, who later actually becomes Blind Al. This is just to give some cross-dimensional Marvel continuity here. The original Black Widow, who is supposed to be, the partner of the original Red Guardian, winds up being Blind Al in the Deadpool comics. That's when they used to draw her to look like Aunt May.
Yeah.
Movies,
I think,
although they had black people in Russia, so it's not unrealistic, nerd boys.
I mean, it's possible because I think they've hinted around that she met Steve Rogers in World War II. So,
yeah, the original, Blind Al. This is at least canonical before the universe exploded and Franklin, put it back the way he wanted. Franklin Richard. Franklin! Before Franklin Richards put the universe back, she was the first Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
So she was your Dottie Underwood character from your Peggy Carter series, if you like that. And that, during World War II, because the Russians were our allies in that, she, gal on every port, Steve. Like, oh, hey, you're probably never going to get to England, right? Let's hang out. That's how Steve was, man. He was 18 years old and ready to party. God, Steve.
This is the perfect place to. I forgot about this. I saw this on the internet again. The internet one day. You know what's on Disney Plus, right? Agent Carter.
Lots of things, but yes, I know.
So they're saying everybody go on Disney Plus and just like watch Agent Carter over and over. Download it, stream it over and over. Maybe we'll get more Agent Carter if .
And I'll tell you what, the first season is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The second season is also very good. I kind of felt like their hands were more tied in the second season. It's kind of a weird thing. It's like that first season of the ABC series they were much more, and it's kind of come full circle now. It's like, I think those first seasons, it was very much, we are 100% the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the big fallout between Marvel TV and Marvel Studios,
mm-hmm.
where really it was Marvel TV said, maybe we're not so much the MCU. Maybe we're our own thing. Maybe we don't have to say we're kowtowing to the movies, And then Feige's like, I'm trying to make something here. And then, so you had that down period in the second season where it was like, we're not really best friends, but we totally are. And then now we're back. Now I feel like we're back to where we're supposed to be between the movies and the TV shows. But it was a dark time when Feige wasn't in charge.
I mean, now if they went back to Agent Carter, can you imagine? I don't know if he'd want to do it, but I mean, you could bring Chris Evans after Endgame.
If you could afford it, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It's like, never know. That whole Endgame story is like, yeah. And again, I say, you know what? That's the perfect time to introduce Betsy Ross because Steve's not going to let himself sit in ice.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's created an alternate timeline. He knows this will not affect the Avengers, and he's going to just let himself sit in ice. And then it's like, I'm going to steal my girlfriend from myself. He's not going to do that. He's going to go break himself out of ice, and he's going to go, and that's when he's going to go hook up back with Betty Ross. And they're going to have, and in this universe, they're going to have a kid, and they're going to name him Thad.
Yeah. That's the other thing I'm surprised you didn't mention about the Black Widow trailer.
Which was?
Did you notice they really like de-aged Thunderbolt Ross? So it's like this really can't. So this can't be taking place between what is it? After Civil War, because they really de-aged Ross. It looked like, didn't it?
You really want the deep dive on this whole story?
Oh boy.
Okay, first off, there is another theory that's actually not Thunderbolt Ross.
Okay.
It's actually just an actor who just looks a little bit like that guy.
Oh, okay.
It's not a cartoonishly de-aged. I'm forgetting the actor's name now, but that's not who that is. It's just the other actor. He's just a white-haired actor who's because I don't think he's in a general's outfit in that, is he?
No, he's not, and I don't think he's even white hair because I think it's like dark. He has like darker hair, so everyone was like, "Man, they really de-aged Ross."
Yeah, which is why it couldn't possibly be Ross because Ross was a general. He'd be in the uniform. He doesn't put on the suit until he retires as being a general, and then, as you're supposed to do, stop wearing the uniform.
I mean, unless it's like a flashback in this flashback movie, I don't know.
When he wasn't a general and wasn't even in the army, but still had gray hair.
I mean, unless he was being covert. I mean, if you're like undercover, you're not going to be wearing your 4 stars,
I mean, possibly, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's supposed to be Ross. But if it were supposed to be Ross for some reason, maybe, yes, he's also that, maybe and there's ways you can do it where you can be in the army, then you move to another branch, and then you move back. There's things you could do. And actually, Ross is Air Force, not Army. Although I think in the MCU he actually is Army, but originally he's supposed to be Air Force. And they kept that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because what's his name? Talbot is Air Force. Mm-hmm. And as I've said, it makes sense that they should be Air Force because Air Force deals with what? Alien technology. So all the weird stuff floating on the planet, that's the Air Force. That's their job. That's why we have an Air Force. Anyway, so yeah, so maybe they de-aged Ross, or maybe it's just a completely different actor who maybe kind of feels lousy. Like, why is everyone saying I'm that other actor? That's actually what I look like, dude. But long story short, they could be doing flashbacks in this a lot too.
Yeah.
Where we're also seeing the start of Black Widow's story, the end of Black Widow's story, which actually leads me to what could be the dramatic after-credits scene. Ready for this, Philip?
Yes.
What we're watching is the Widow's life flashing before her eyes before she dies.
As she's falling.
And possibly, as she's sacrificed for the Soul Stone, her resurrection at the end.
Oh.
Because maybe things aren't as clear as it is. Because,
hey,
maybe she finds a way out.
Didn't like towards the end of that Endgame, didn't Banner say, I tried to bring her back? When he snapped everyone back, didn't he say, I tried to bring her back? What if he did?
He said he tried to bring her back.
What if he did?
What if he doesn't know what he did?
Exactly.
That's the thing. He wanted to bring her back, but he doesn't. It's like, so for example, if he says, I tried to bring her back, but where's he going to bring her back to?
What if she just like appeared? I mean, between the Soul Stone stuff and then his half-ass snap, I mean, what if she just like, she lives again, but she like rematerialized in Russia or something?
Who knows? Or maybe she's off on Vormir and now she's got to deal with Red Skull. So, hiya, Ben. I don't get to talk to anyone. It's so rare someone comes here. I wish people would know where the Soul Stone is. I could say, hey, welcome in. Welcome into the Soul Stone. I could make a little beer garden here. It'd be really fun. Get a polka band. It'll be great. Everyone will have a good old time. Come see the Soul Stone.
Hey, I was thinking about this the other day. You could bring back Red Skull for like Falcon and Winter Soldier because, I mean, remember the comics. The original Red Skull died and I mean, they repeated this over and over, but when he came back, it was in a cloned body.
Well, exactly. And as I've always said, if you just have those memory tapes, which we know are a thing from Arnim Zola, if he made memory tapes of the Red Skull might have never disappeared. The Red Skull disappeared, and Arnim Zola went immediately into, okay, Project Phoenix, time to go.
What if that? Yeah. Oh, what if that's not really John Walker? What if that's the Skull?
That'd be interesting.
Or the guy who sends John Walker after Sam Wilson is the Skull. Del Rusk, yes.
Look for that Del Rusk name. Secretary Rusk, how you doing?
That's who that guy is in Black Widow. It's not Ross, it's Red Skull.
Oh man, if that's Del Rusk, I will be very happy. Del Rusk.
Anagram.
God, that's a bad anagram. Yeah, I know. It's not even an anagram of Johann Schmidt. That's like how bad it is. Like, we got to really like just make this. Got to spoon feed it. It's not even like Shohan Mit, you know.
I know.
Anyway, or Jonathan Smith. That's what Johann Schmidt.
Yes.
But no. So anyway, yeah. I mean, who knows what it's going to be? But I actually think so. It's going to be a lot of flashbacks. I think the main thrust of the story is going to be the story between Civil War and Infinity War.
Okay.
Because this is a thing. When we get to Infinity War, Black Widow is on Cap's side.
Mm-hmm.
She's not on Cap's side in Civil War.
No. Well, she helps him get away at the end.
She helps him get away, but that's not the same as being on his side.
Yes.
Essentially, she has to have a moment where she defects from Tony's side to Cap's side.
Yeah, well, do you think she had no choice in that? Or, once she helped him escape, weren't Ross and everyone be like, well, guess what? You're not with us now. You're getting locked up. So she ran.
Because I think she had plausible deniability on that. I think she could have said, no, Cap just beat me.
Well, and remember, she also had to tase Black Panther so Steve could get away. So I mean, that's a foreign ruler. She's it's not just.
But that's going to assume that Black Panther rats her out.
That's true.
Because we see Black Panther comes to, if he doesn't rat her out right then, and he's Black Panther, because he comes to accept Steve Rogers' point of view on it.
Well, watch. There's probably a security cam in that hangar or something.
Yeah, you assume too much, though. It's
hey, if that's the way they want to go, there's going to be a security camera in that hangar,
and that is a fair cop. They could say that, but in that case, then she has to run to Steve's side. But my point is, we don't see that.
Yes.
So maybe this is her dealing with that fallout.
Maybe.
And the fact of the matter is, I get the feeling that first off, Tony's not going to put her in jail.
No.
Because everyone that got put in jail are all people that Tony doesn't know. It's not like Cap's in jail.
Oh yeah, even when Scott Lang got in his face, he's like, "Who are you?"
Exactly. I mean, so okay, maybe Hawkeye's in jail, but then again, not for nothing, and for what it's worth, maybe Tony's like, yeah, okay, break him out, that's fine. So it's like he tells Nat, yeah, it's okay, yeah, let him go. I'm not going to sit here and put my friend in jail. I'm just trying to sort things out.
Well, remember, he was going to patch things up with Steve at the end of the Civil War until we found out Bucky killed his parents. Yeah,
and maybe once he kind of realized that's kind of a really lousy thing to put on Cap's head. Mm-hmm. There's lots of ways he could grow up beyond what we see.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just never that whole ending of Civil War. I'm like, yeah, I know, Tony. Bucky killed your parents, but it's like he was being I mean, I know you're angry. You have every right to be, but I'm like, Bucky was being mind controlled. He was as much a victim too because the Russians used him against his will.
Yeah, but at the same time,
he killed my mom.
Well, yeah, Martha. Why did you say that name? Maria. Why did you say that name? I didn't say that name. But that's my mom's name, and I'm mad because my mom's dead.
Starts with an MAR.
Yeah, that's Kristen's quoting the Teen Titans Go movie. That's my mom's name too. What's your dad's name? Jonathan. Mine's Thomas. Hey, speaking of that, did you catch the Doom Patrol Teen Titans Go?
Yes.
Okay, so I do think Negative Girl is a character that they've had in Doom Patrol.
Yes.
But what about the Effete Robot Man? Is that a thing? Is it someone else been Robot Man at some point? Well, he's very British.
No, I don't think other people. I mean, I know that he's had upgraded bodies and stuff, but yeah, I don't think anyone else has been Robot Man.
Yeah, but just not the NASCAR driver, but the actually actually it comes off as kind of Austrian.
Yeah, I know that was weird, but yeah, no, I think it's always because even when they did the new Doom Patrol, I think he was one of the holdovers from the old team at Cliff Steele. Yeah,
so that was an interesting choice you made. They made a lot of interesting choices. Their chief is definitely interesting.
Oh yeah,
voiced by the same actor who does Santa Claus, not Ed Asner, but another older older Hollywood actor who does a lot of very angry guys, which is great. I forget his name, but I do recognize the voice.
Well, I think all the like modern interpretations of the Chief now, he's like crazy, or to a certain degree.
Well, yeah. Well, that's because he's crazy. But to be fair, they've done the same thing with Charles Xavier over the years. Patrick Stewart is like the one guy that they didn't have go completely off his rails because they actually like had him suffer from dementia. But it's like, oh well, he has dementia, so that makes sense. But it's like, I mean, really, who's the other guy? Ewan McGregor? No, not Ewan McGregor. Who's the new Charles Xavier in the movie?
What's his face?
It's Max something.
Oh, James McAvoy.
McAvoy. There we go. Yeah, they almost immediately make him go evil. So
yeah,
Jean-Luc Picard, we're not going to accept being evil. He's no Magneto. Yeah, well, he was actually good in a lot of the films, but he doesn't like humans and he wants to kill them. So it's like he's kind of like a racist uncle that you love, but that you really don't want to get talking about stuff because he's like, well, the humans are bringing disease. Got that legacy virus spreading around the mutants, They're actually all humans have the potential to be mutants. That was the big reveal of Master Mold, was that he realized that all humans were mutants. And so if you must kill all mutants, then you must kill all humans. And that's how the robo-apocalypse happens. Because there's no such thing as true AI. Because it just follows a program. If you program it, A is equal to kill that, then once A is equal to everything, then it's I must destroy everything. That's the problem with all robot apocalypses, except for my favorite robot apocalypse, the sex apocalypse. That's where humans create robots that can be their best friend and companion, and then humans stop forming human attachments, and so they don't make babies, and so no, robots can't make babies. That's the problem. And so then you just run out of humans. That's the sex apocalypse because people stop having sex because they just hang out with robots all the time. Robots are way cooler.
Hang out.
It makes perfect sense. And that's exactly how humans will die off in time once we create robots that, that could be entirely a fact. I mean, I've never seen a female Skeksis, so yeah.
Or female.
Yeah, whatever those other things were. They're not Skeksis. They're not as memorable. What are they called? What are the like the good things called? The oracles or something? I don't know. But in Dark Crystal, the Skeksis, but they're all male. So yeah, that's why they're all dying out because you only have so many, and then we're done.
I can't find who played the Chief.
In Teen Titans Go. Yeah, and I know the actor because he was on Evening Shade too with Burt Reynolds. He does a lot of things, and I forget his name. Like I said, I don't know his name. I can't forget his name because I never knew his name, but I know the actor. He's got a very square head, and he's been in a lot of stuff, and he's cool. Anyway, but the other thing, getting back to the actual thing of the Black Widow trailer, and how mad everyone is about fat people existing, because that's really what it's about. It's like they're mad at fat people for existing, and then trying to tell the story of fat people. But then, no, that's mean to say fat people are sometimes teased. But yeah, it is mean, but it's also the story. So, but the other thing is, how come we can never have a woman, an ample American woman, in the story? And it's like, okay, you're losing your stuff this much about a fat guy having a snide remark made about him, and you want to say, if there was a woman who was fat and someone was making fun of her, that would be cool. What? The internet would not handle it.
I mean, do you think are they picking safe targets? Because I mean, first Thor, now this guy. I mean, who are we?
Yeah, exactly.
White
These are
men.
Very safe targets. They are guys that they can say.
White men.
Here's the thing: men can be fat and be manly.
Yes.
And so when they get this snide remark and then they go and kick butt, it is people are going to overlook the fact that they're fat and just see that they're a hero.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a very sexist society, which, like I said, I was shocked to find out in 2016 we are in fact more sexist than we are racist. I had no idea. It was a shock to me, but I'm a male. What?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, part blood is fat, but then he's also a heroic character. You know?
But I mean, yeah, Charlie, I mean, we are more racist. I mean, more sexist than racist. I mean, look, we had a black president before we had a woman president.
Well, yeah, exactly. Of course, I mean, for what it's worth, Barack Obama was really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, you could argue that he's not that good of a president, but he was good at the job. I mean, he really put people at ease, as unlike a current president who may actually every so often fall backwards in doing something good for the country, but is just so bad at the job of being a president and communicating it that people are just exhausted with him.
I don't know. I think Barack Obama is a good example. I think we need more younger people in government.
Yes, without a doubt, we need people that are not in early stage dementia being president. I think it's when your brain starts to break down when you get older. Yeah, it's very sad actually, but it happens to a lot of people. It can be mild or it can be severe. Well, I certainly hope that's why Daddy drinks. Make sure I don't live long enough to have very bad dementia.
Oh, good Lord. But no, the whole thing you were talking about, an ample American female. It's like, to play devil's advocate, it's comics. Name me someone from Marvel, a woman from Marvel Comics who's overweight, like a big character. You got to think about it. You have to think about it. They don't have in the comics. They don't have a lot of them, right?
No, there's first off, there's not a lot of ample American male characters either.
That's true, but you can name some.
I can name Boulder.
Yeah.
And I can name and actually even the character who was the former Steel Spider is no longer fat. So
yeah, true. But what I'm saying is,
Octavius is about as close as you can get to a fat male character.
There's not a lot, but you can name a male character a lot. Ample American male.
Although what's her name? The girl that was dating Otto was Knockout or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Stunner. Yeah.
Yeah, Stunner. That's her name. I'm sorry, what? Otto Octavius has never been skinny except when he was the Superior Spider-Man. Really? Yes, he's always been a chubby guy. Even his action figure had a pot belly. He always had a pot belly. He wasn't like fat, but he always had a pot belly.
He just dressed well when he wore those 3-piece white suits.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what you do when you're big. You always trench coats. Trench coats are the fat man's moo-moo.
I was going to say, no matter what your body type, a suit, kind of.
And really, if you really want to go down that line, you can look at Ms. Marvel, and not the way they draw her now, but when Captain Marvel was Ms. Marvel, but like in that later period, they actually drew her as very, very thick, as they say.
Who?
In fact, there's Carol Danvers.
Oh, okay.
They used to draw her with very big thighs, very muscular, but also she was a thick girl.
Yeah.
She wasn't a size 2.
Yeah.
Now they draw her kind of a size 2-y, which is, I think, a mistake on their part. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, again, too, you got Brie Larson playing her, so it's like,
yeah. I mean, she's a skinny gal.
Yeah.
Honestly, Natasha, she puts it all in the right places, but she was always kind of a thick girl. I mean, in the 80s, she got very skinny, but like in her original 60s appearance, she was very va-va-boom. And honestly, I think Scarlett Johansson is very va-va-boom in the way that she's designed. So she corsets it, but there's stuff under there. It means very voluptuous. It means having lots of curves. So how a woman goes like that. That's what that means, voluptuous.
A woman with curves, boy.
A woman with curves. Well, like I said, in the 80s, they gave her kind of a more of a thin look.
Yeah.
When she had the cut, the short cropped hair, which I do love as a look, Still couldn't manage to get the zipper up past her navel for some reason.
Hey, we're 42 minutes into this half-hour episode. You want to get to some comics?
Oh, sure. So let's talk about Serpent War.
Yes, number 1, Conan Serpent War.
Did you notice something about every character in that book?
Well, what are you... Maybe not.
There's only one character in that book who wasn't created by the creator of Conan, Howard.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight is the only character in that book who isn't one of Howard's creations. Solomon Kane,
Mm-hmm.
Black Agnes, even the guy who's having the hallucinations is also, was it Jamie Allison? Is also a Howard character.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually ties in a connected, the idea is it creates a connected Howard universe, which is what clearly Disney is building, or Marvel is building towards here, is an interconnected Howard universe with the idea that there's this person who's lived many lives and connects to all of these other heroes of the past,
Mm-hmm.
who were also created by, I think it was E.E. Howard is his name, also from Texas. And so it was an interesting introduction to this character, and they kind of stuck Moon Knight in there because he's like, you can stick Moon Knight anywhere, I guess is their argument.
Bring the superhero fans in.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, and he's the first one they introduced after Alice.
Yeah.
Because Allison's kind of a deep dive, but Solomon Kane, a little less of a deep dive. Because as soon as I saw Solomon Kane, it's like, wait, that's a Howard character. And then it's like, oh, and here's Black Agnes. And it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, I get their strategy. It's like, I know a few people who've picked up this book because they give this book a try just because Moon Knight was in it. And two, I mean, he's getting his own Disney Plus series too, so
yeah,
that never hurts.
But the idea that they're building up this Howardiverse, not a Howard Duckiverse, but a Howardiverse. The guy who created Conan's, his last name was Howard. And creating that universe into this, again, it's Disney doubling down on the fact that we've got these rights. We're not letting them go.
Oh no.
We're going to make the Howard estate very rich off of these rights, and we're going to integrate all of these classic characters into our universe.
Oh, you can tell because I mean, Conan's like in every other book now.
I know, and they're like, and you know what? And you know what? He wrote other characters too. I'm really waiting for them to bring back Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
Not Red Sonja. Red Sonja is a character that Marvel created, but that they based off of the name of a Howard character that they just let go. I mean, that's a real interesting thing about. Honestly, I think there's a strong argument to say that Red Sonja exists in public domain at this point because Marvel hasn't published her, and Marvel created that character.
Oh.
Because the actual Red Sonja is closer to the character of Black Agnes that we see in this book.
Yeah.
Where she's a pirate. I don't think she was ever supposed to be a Hyborian age. But they just decided, we should have a character for Conan to date. And says, are there any female characters in the books that he could date? And they said, well, not a lot. So, were there any redheads? Because it was, it was the 80s, 70s. They said, well, there's a character named Red Sonja. She's a pirate. I said, great, put her in a chainmail bikini. I think that was Stan Lee's exact quote. And thus we got Red Sonja, who is, in fact, arguably an entirely original character, but because it is a homophone to a character Howard created, and she was introduced in a Howard book, she became part of Howard's estate in a weird left-handed way, except now that Marvel has brought back everything else, they still don't have Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah.
So Red Sonja exists as her own thing out there in a very weird way. Honestly, I think there are copyright lawyers that are getting their Juris Doctorates writing entire papers about the story of Red Sonja. Because she is crazy as far as where her rights come from. Where she comes from, where she goes to, nobody knows. She is the Cotton Eye Joe of copyright law. Cotton Eye Joe is someone that we don't know where he came from. We don't know where he goes. Yeah, we don't know anything about him. He's Cotton Eye Joe. Yes, I'd have been happy a long time ago, if not for Red Sonja. So that's Serpent War. It's them creating a connected Howardiverse, and they're going to stick Moon Knight in there because,
yes.
What else are you going to stick? Because they needed someone to stick there. I mean, that's really what it came down. They needed someone to stick there. They said, well, who sounds like they could be one of these characters? They said, well, you know what? I think that maybe Moon Knight does because he's got that ancient Egyptian feel to him. But at the same time, he's almost like all these other characters are from specific points in time. What if Moon Knight was a Howard story set in the far-flung future of 1973, you know?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what they created. And so now they're reintegrating him into that universe. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know how good the story is going to be, because anytime you're trying to, you know, build a universe, the story is usually secondary to the effort of building a universe. But I thought it was exciting, and I really liked the idea that, oh, look, it's all of these Howard characters.
Yeah,
to me, that was cool.
It was very a setup issue, and the whole Moon Knight thing, I don't know if you care or not, but it's like this issue, and then like even like the Moon Knight annual they did during Acts of Evil, like Moon Knight, like the multiple personalities have seemed to disappeared. So I don't know if like maybe they're priming him for Disney Plus if he's not going to have the multiple personalities in that series, maybe.
Well, I get the feeling that maybe it's going to be a situation where, so it's this question. It's the central question of Moon Knight: is Khonshu a thing?
Yeah,
because that's the thing. If you have this idea that there's Mark Spector and there's Khonshu, and then there is Moon Knight, who is Mark Spector? And you know, you have his other identities. Here's the thing: Mark Spector was always Mark Spector.
Yes,
and the other identities were always characters. They were like, who's that? They're always like Matches Malone for Batman. You know, where he puts on a disguise and he goes, "These Matches Malone for a week. I'm Matches Malone. They call me Matches. What's your first name, Matches? It's Matches. That's what my mom named me. I thought you said they called you Matches. Well, that's why they call me that.
Yeah.
My name. I don't have a real name. You know, don't ever ask Matches Malone his backstory.
Oh yeah, no. When they started, I think they even talked to the guy who was writing it, Doug Mensch, who, you know, was a Batman writer for off and on for years. Yeah, these were just like undercover identities and stuff, and you know, eventually people just ramped it up where they actually started becoming multiple personalities. So
yeah, and I get the idea that if you are Mark Spector and you have this god talking to you, maybe you do start to lose a little bit of your grip, and you say, well, wait, am I Mark Spector? Am I Moon Knight? Maybe I'm this other person that I sometimes pretend to be. So I think there's a lot of ways you can approach it, but I think what is most interesting about this is Mark sort of trying to push away Khonshu.
Yeah.
But then eventually succumbing. And it goes into this almost, I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde aspect of it, but the idea of this person who is being brought into this adventure against his will. So that's an interesting take on it. And I think that's about where they're going to evolve it. And like I said, I'm still waiting to see what they're going to do with Conan and Disney, because they clearly got rights and they clearly want to use it.
Oh, yeah.
And to be fair, Conan has never been done that well outside of the Marvel comic books. I am looking at you, both the modern interpretations and the Arnold Schwarzenegger version. They were popular. They made money. I don't know if I'm going to say that they were really good films. You know, I don't know. Like if Martin Scorsese said, "Yo, Conan films, they're not really cinema." I don't know if people are going to be like setting up to.
Yeah, no.
You know, I don't think there's going to be a lot of defenders that Conan was cinema if Martin Scorsese picked that fight to have.
Yeah, no.
But otherwise, yeah. What I will say is, it's clear that someone wants to do something with this because they're really doubling down. And to that extent, we also have Savage Avengers this week.
Yes, Savage Avengers number 8, Conan's Dinner with Doom.
I love the professional courtesy between Doom and Strange in this.
Oh, yeah.
It is really lovely. Even though, as we all know, Doom is a mere dabbler in the mystic arts. And, you know, a dropout at college, too. So, it's like, you know, he's a failure in everything he does. But at least, you know, Doctor Strange is going to be nice to him. Because, you know, even a person who's a complete screw-up can give you a bad day. Well, you know, that's actually an interesting thing about, like, wolves. Like, sometimes an alpha wolf will back down when a beta wolf sort of pushes on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though the alpha wolf knows he could easily smite the beta wolf might get a good shot in. That causes the alpha wolf a lot of trouble. And, you know, Doom fights dirty.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, you know what? I don't want to engage. He's got his little story that he likes to tell himself. I'm not going to engage him on it. I'm going to be very professional in this interaction because I have nothing to prove. And if I try to pull a fight with Doom, Doom is going to come back with me as a jerk. And Doom, of course, gets hoisted by his own petard in this, which Conan just finds hilarious, which is the most telling thing about this episode. I don't know when I'm done, Tristan. What? Oh, you want to watch more of the Teen Titans Go? Okay. Oh, Mandalorian, yes. Well, go over to the couch because that's where Daddy sleeps. Anyway. Oh, great. Anyway. But yeah, as Conan says, I guess the goat just got lucky. Which is just beautiful as Doom's head gets popped off him. And I can't believe that's a Doom bot. So how they're going to get Doom out of that? Well, I don't know yet. But they've already brought 3 characters back to life already. I think what is it? Well, they brought back Conan. They brought back Voodoo. So Doom will be the 3rd. But yeah, I'm guessing that because they're in the City of Sickles, death is not permanent. Yada yada yada. Though why you'd bring back Doom after he died of his own hubris? Honestly, if there was ever a death of Doom that I could say I completely accept that is the perfect death of Doom, it was this death of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But he probably has clone body backups and all that kind of stuff. And I think that would be the best thing, is just have clone body backup Doom show up in 5 minutes and just no, well, yeah, of course I did. Says, what, you died? He said, yes, of course I died. I have a clone for just such an emergency. You think I just wait for me to die? No, I've got these things ready to go. They're hot and they're live. Oh God, Dr. Doom. Yeah, so I loved Savage Avengers, the interplay with Doom. I also like Conan just calling Doom out. Take off your mask. And he says, and how Conan just totally plays Doom the entire time. He's says, why don't you take off your mask? He says, you won't eat with me? It's it's not poison. I don't think it's poison. I just think you're being rude. And then he's I said, I have scars. Oh, so you're vain.
You're so vain, yes.
Exactly. Which is oh, how dare you call me out for my vanity?
Oh, snap.
Which is my most defining characteristic. And then he takes it off and then he eats the chicken and Conan's yeah, see? I really don't care what you look like. You think you got your face messed up. I should tell you about some stuff that happens in the Hyborian age.
I was waiting for Doom to take off the mask and Conan be that's it? That's what you're hiding?
Please. Have you met Deadpool? He has good bone structure. Just that fantastic bone structure. That solves all your problems.
At least you have fantastic bone structure.
Doom has fantastic bone, as does Ryan Reynolds. Man cannot be ugly. I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds. You will never be able to play an ugly person. That is, you will never get the role as Quasimodo, Ryan Reynolds. I'm sorry. Geez. We see through it all. Yes, Tristan. Deadpool should have... No, because he was too pretty. Well, I know. He's got the burnt-up face, but it's Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool would be if they did a Freddy Krueger movie, this is the story of Freddy Krueger, they would hire Ryan Reynolds to play Freddy Krueger. I know, and it's the same thing. He's too lovable, Tristan. That's the point. Anyway.
I even made a joke about it.
He's Pikachu.
People said, oh, nice Freddy Krueger.
Yes, I know. They do that occasionally in the book. Anyway, long story short. I'm loving Conan, everything they do with Conan. We talked about Amazing Spider-Man, talked about Thor. What other books? Oh, we talked about Black Cat.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much everything. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, this was the big thing. Because this is the most fascinating thing, speaking of The Mandalorian, is that essentially Disney gave up millions of dollars. Literally just said, fine, we don't need $6, $7, $10, $20 million. Okay, yeah. That's cute. Because they don't have any Baby Yoda toys.
Yes, they do. I saw one.
They have a couple. No, Tristan, you saw pre-production models that will not be available until January.
Yes, I saw Funko Pop.
No, well, Funko Pops all look like Baby Yoda. So,
They made those real Yoda as a Funko Pop.
Yeah, just a real Yoda, and they gave him a can of beans, you know, a bone broth. But yes, no, but the idea is that, you know, they didn't want to, and not for nothing, Favreau didn't get a choice in this. It's not like Favreau said, "Don't you dare make a Yoda toy." Disney just said, "No, it's okay. We don't need a Yoda toy."
Do you think they were waiting to see them make sure the character hit, and now, you know, they're going to put out a superior product? You know, they're not going to put out like a half-ass product.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. They could have dropped The Mandalorian. Well, I mean, Mandalorian came out right when it came out. Yeah, I get
5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight thing. I think they could have had toys ready by Christmas.
And you build that demand. It don't matter if it's Christmas or not. People are going to go out and buy.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the secondary argument. It's like, yeah, we'll sell them for Easter. It's fine. You don't want a Baby Yoda Easter basket? You don't want a Baby Yoda Valentine's Day?
No.
But the idea is that prior to one of the biggest gift giving holidays, actually like 2 or 3 big gift giving holidays, they do not have Baby Yodas in the store, and people are talking about how this is really a shocking thing that Disney gave up a lot of money on this. Now, there is a secondary argument, which is that, so there's like 3 different arguments. One is that they did this out of artistic integrity. They didn't want to spoil the series. Don't snort at artistic integrity. It's entirely possible.
I meant Disney.
They have artistic integrity. They've made good films.
I know. I'm not saying they don't make good stuff.
To be fair, I think there's this argument to be made that they've realized that if we just keep on making really high-quality product, people will give us money for high-quality product. We don't need to make cheapo, straight-to-video Birds of Prey with Margot Robbie in the tank top.
Yes.
Because that's not even going to make the money back.
Amen.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, that's not going to be a moneymaker for us, because it would be better if we made a show that people really, wow, that is such a good show. Let's talk about that show. Which is, to be fair, HBO's model.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Warner's doesn't have someone that's doing that. They just got to let HBO infect everybody else. They got to let HBO like, no, listen. If we make a good product, people will want our product.
Yes.
Rather than just manufacturing demand for a product. Yes, Tristan.
I wanted to say, speaking of Mandalorian, I want to say a few facts about Boba Fett.
Okay, come here, tell us a few facts about Boba Fett from Tristan Esser.
Can I wear the headphones?
Yeah, you can wear the headphones. Tell us several facts about Boba Fett from Tristan Esser.
So, a few facts about Boba Fett is that, one is that, originally, before, he was even a clone of Boba Fett, he actually had a different name. I forgot the name though. But,
Jango Fett?
No, but the cool thing was that they used, Boba Fett's own name as the person who adopted Jango Fett, as a kid. Another cool fact is that they actually showed Boba Fett before the Christmas special, because him and Darth Vader were some guy in a Boba Fett suit, and Darth Vader were walking around the place getting people's autographs. And that was before the first time he was ever shown in the holiday special. So no one really knew who he was before. And also, another fact is that, before, they even did, either of those, the original design for Boba Fett was that he was gonna be all white, and, he actually had a more Imperial Stormtrooper looking mask.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Tristan. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Tristan.
And you'll notice my lips never moved. Tristan loves Star Wars so much.
Yes.
So much he loves Star Wars. And it's amazing to me. We're going to watch The Mandalorian after the show. So yeah, I think that's a lot of stuff we talked about here. I think I got through everything. Let me just check my thing. Millions that. And
that's your double-sized half-hour super connectivity.
Oh, last item. We actually talked about this last episode, but yes, I told Phil I'd try to keep it to a half hour. He said, "No, go as long as you want. This is when we usually start."
Yeah, no, I don't care.
Yeah, but so The Boys is ending. Me and Maz need to find something new to do. So send us your ideas. Quick, one more thing, Tristan, come here.
I got an idea. Charlie, Maz, and Tristan, Mandalorian special coverage.
They're pushing the Mandalorian. What do you want to tell us, Tristan? Really quick.
So one more thing I wanted to tell you guys, is that originally, God dang, I forgot.
Okay, well, when you think about it, we'll bring it up in the next episode. Okay. So, in the meantime, Philip, how can people find you?
If you want to get a hold of me, especially if you were on that writing crew on Dazzler and Tigra, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And you can always contact Capes and Lunatics at capesandlunatics@gmail.com. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Check out all of our social media links. Everything's in one place. Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And support our sponsors, Pod Life the Book, Hunt a Killer, Tweaked Audio, and Southgate Media Group itself. Click on the Amazon link when you're going to shop on Amazon.
Yes. And definitely, yes, click on that Amazon link. Get yourself a copy of Pod Life the Book. People do love this book, I'm hearing. Yes. It is on my Christmas list. I'm hoping someone buys it for me.
Oh, nice.
What? Oh, you remembered? What was it, Tristan? Quick.
Okay. Is that, in some comics, apparently, Boba Fett crawled out of the Sarlacc pit, and I'm kind of thinking that we might see a cameo of like either Boba Fett or Jango Fett in the Mandalorian series.
Ooh,
that would
maybe
be awesome. And to be fair, Boba Fett did have an entire Beskar armor suit on, which can handle laser blasters. He also has a jetpack. I don't think a Sarlacc is going to digest him. He has crawled out of the Sarlacc pit in several stories, including pre-Disney canonical stories. So I think we can all agree Boba Fett did not die in a Sarlacc pit.
That sounds like a season 1 cliffhanger to me.
We're going to have to see when they get to the end of season 1.
Yeah.
I'm expecting Boba Fett to show up and maybe get a little bonding with Mando.
Nope.
Anyway, Philip, love our sponsors. Hunt a Killer is actually one of my favorites. That I did not even realize. I mean, I knew we had Hunt a Killer, but it's like really exciting to me because like people talk about Hunt a Killer all the time, where it's you get the little boxes and it's like mystery clues that you got to solve with your friends or by yourself if you're a loner like me. So please support our sponsors. Tell them Superconnectivity sent you. And in the meantime, if you would like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Mods and Pods once did, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. If you write me, I will answer.
Ooh.
Because that is actually one of the few accounts I actually look at regularly.
Nice.
Yes, that is an account that is live on my phone. As soon as something comes into the Superconnectivity blog email address, I get a little blip on my phone that says, hey, someone wrote you. And it's usually someone telling me about my car's extended warranty, but I would really prefer it if it was from you. So please write and say, I hate you, or I love you. One of those two things, they're both good. I just want attention. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. And, of course, if you'd like to follow me on Twitter as I live tweet, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., possibly Supergirl this Sunday because, Phil can't watch it.
Oh, crisis. How dare you?
I might have to just hate watch it just to...
How dare you, Pittsburgh CW?
You can follow me on Twitter at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieSSER. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Superconnectivity for this week. Why don't you be a real pal like Jimmy Olsen? He's Superman's best pal. And Superconnectivity again next week. Thank you and good night.
Write in every week and earn the title of Charlie Esser's pal.
Hey, if you're just listening, you're already my pal. But you could be my best pal, just like Jimmy Olsen. Because Superman's got a lot of pals. Jimmy Olsen, that's his best pal.
Get your own ongoing title.
Even though Snyder killed him, I don't want a Snyder cut just for that. Just for that, it's like, you know what, Snyder? Go pound salt.